Hello friends, today we are going to learn about the wave aspects of a particle. So actually what is wave aspect of the particle is that any material particle, suppose you take any material particle, that material particle have dual nature. Dual nature means it has the particle nature as well as the wave nature. So if any particle is moving, if you place a stone in one direction or if you throw the stone in direction, what happens, we found that the stone is looks like a one particle moving from one place to another place, but there is a wave associated with that particle. And similarly, whenever electron moves from in moves in a certain material, there is a wave associated with that particle. So what is de Broglie said that there is a wave associated with each particle. So particle has wave nature as well as particle has wave nature and particle nature. So that is the dual nature of a particle. Okay, let's start this now. So this hypothesis of a dual nature, which is given by the de Broglie. So what de Broglie said that the material particle should display a dual nature. Dual nature means it should display a wave nature as well as particle nature. So simply we can say that material particle shows the dual nature, particle as well as wave nature. And according to this de Broglie's hypothesis, this lambda is your wavelength. The wavelength associated with this particle is given by lambda is equals to h divided by p, where p stand for your momentum and this h stand for your Planck's constant. So what here we learn is that the wavelength associated with this any particle, this wavelength is given by the relation. What is the relation? Lambda is equals to h divided by p. That is the important relation. Lambda is equals to, where h is the Planck's constant and p stand for your momentum. So what is the value of Planck's constant? Planck's constant value, this is your Planck's constant. And okay, so what is the value of this h? This h is 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. That is the value of your Planck's constant. Now here we will take pointer now. Now this lambda, in terms of kinetic energy, we can explain it. Lambda is equals to h divided by twice me. This is the expression for the wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. And the same relation if you apply for the accelerated charge particle. Okay, so suppose if you take a electron, and electron, two plates are there. Here there is a electron, and this electron is accelerated by certain potential by applying. Suppose electron has negative charge and here is a positive plate. So this positive plate accelerate this electron. So electron will accelerate it toward this positive plate. So that is the, it gets the kinetic energy. So accelerated potential is given by this relation, charge into potential. So E is replaced with charge into potential, and if you substitute the value of Planck's constant, mass of the electron and charge of the electron, then the value of lambda will be 12.24. If you substitute this constant, this value will be 12.24 divided by accelerated potential into the angstrom, accelerated potential, and this wavelength unit is your angstrom. So what we learn is that this wavelength equation in terms of kinetic energy, you can write it is equals to h divided by twice me, and in terms of accelerated potential for electron you can write it 12.24 divided by under root of v. And if it is any other particle, then you can write it as a twice m into the E, where E is known as your its kinetic energy. Or if it is accelerated by another particle is there, their charge will be replaced with E is replaced with q and q into v. Okay, we will discuss this in the problems also. Now here you say that how this relation lambda is equals to h divided by under root of twice m come. So let see that Now, what is p? P stand for your momentum. So actually, p square is equals to twice m into e. That is the relation for your p square. Okay, so if you substitute it uh, in this equation, then p is equals to under root of twice me. So that's why this 1 minute I have to use the eraser. So that's why this relation is obtained. Lambda is equals to h upon under root of twice m. So now in next slide we are going to learn about how the expression for lambda is equals to this momentum p is equals to h divided by lambda, or you can say that lambda is equals to, if lambda is there, then this relation will be h divided by p. How this relation is obtained? So according to the Einstein's relativistic energy and relativistic momentum, the energy is given by E square is equals to P square C square plus M naught C square. So, but when the photon is there, then its rest mass is taken as the, or mass of the photon is taken as the 0. So if you substitute m is equals to 0, this equation will be E square is equal to P square C square. Then E is equal to P into C. Okay, if you remove this square, then E is equal to P into C. Then what is the energy of the photon? Energy of the photon is given by E is equals to h mu. So these two equations gives, this equation gives the energy in terms of momentum, and this equation gives the energy in terms of frequency. So equating equation number 1 and equation number 2, we will get the equation h mu is equals to Pc. So from this equation we can obtain momentum P is equals to h mu divided by C. So if you substitute the wavelength equation, what is the equation of the wavelength? Lambda is equals to C divided by mu. That is this equation. If you substitute lambda is equals to C by, then what is the equation for mu? Mu will be C divided by lambda. So if you substitute this equation, C, this mu will be going downside, C divided by mu is equal to lambda, then this equation will be P is equals to H divided by lambda. So in this way we can get the expression for the momentum P is equals to H divided by lambda. So you can calculate with this to a, this equation p is equals to h divided by lambda, and lambda is equals to h divided by under root of twice me, or the lambda is equals to h divided by twice m ev, or if it is electron 12.24 divided. So if you increase use this equation or this equation, you can solve the problem. So first calculate, problem is calculate the d Borb's wavelength of the electron has kinetic energy 15 electron volt. So how will you solve this equation? Okay, let's take a pen here. I will explain you. Okay, so in this first problem, if you substitute lambda is equals to the formula h divided by under root of twice m into the E, where E is your kinetic energy. So what is this kinetic energy? Here kinetic energy is your 15 electron volt, H is your Planck's constant, and m is your mass of the electron. What is the mass of electron? 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. Okay, and what is your Planck's constant? 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34. If you substitute here minus 34, if you substitute this value, you can get the answer of this problem. Similarly, second problem, what is your second problem? Okay, if you take the pointer, uh, laser pointer, if you here calculate the energy of the gamma radiation of wavelength 1 angstrom. Okay, how you will solve this problem? So for this, what we have to do is we have to use the energy equation. E is equal to h h h mu. What is mu? Mu is equal to hc divided by lambda. So what is h here? H is your Planck's constant, C is your velocity of light, and lambda is your wavelength. So here substitute H, Planck's constant, C is the velocity of light, and lambda is your wavelength. If wavelength is 1 angstrom, so now if you take the values, okay, I use pen first. Okay, so substitute this value. Lambda is equals to your 1 angstrom, so this will be 1 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Okay, this value will be c. What is c? C is your velocity of light. This will be 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, and here it is not meter per second. And if you know the value of Planck's constant, okay, so if you substitute this value and solve this, you will obtain the energy of the gamma radiation. Similarly, here also you can solve this third problem also. How to solve this third problem? So what you have to calculate the wavelength of electron accelerated with the potential 10 kilovolt. Okay, see here we have to use the relation lambda is equals to 12.24, I think 24 is there, divided by under root of 10 kilovolt it is. So 10 into 10 to the power 3, it is in the under root of V, and its unit is angstrom. 12.24, if you substitute and solve this, you will get the wavelength. So in this way we'll get the equation for, with this de Broglie's hypothesis, lambda is equals to h pi n p, we can determine the wavelength associated with each particle. And what de Broglie's give to us is that every particle has the wave associated with. If you consider one, if you say that what is about the macroscopic particles, so yeah, every microscopic particle has, so if you take the electron, proton, they have the wave nature. We can, or photon, you can easily say that photon is a wave traveling in the form of wave. But what about the large particles such as stone, or big particle like human beings are, human beings or any big particle traveling, moving in a, moving from one place to another place, we say that it has a particle wave nature. How we can say that it has the wave nature? So if you substitute in this equation lambda is equals to h divided by p, h divided by p, p stand for your momentum. If you substitute, momentum is equals to the mass into velocity. And if you calculate the wavelength associated with the large particle is very small, it is in the order of 10 to the power minus 4. So this wavelength is very small. So in this way, for macroscopic particle, what we assume that wave nature is associated, but this wavelength is very small to measure. Hence we say that large particles are having only particle nature, but wave nature is also there, but wavelength is small, so we cannot calculate. So what de Broglie says that the every material particle has dual nature, wave nature as well as particle nature. So in next lecture we will learn about the how we can go for the uh, concept of that is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Okay, thank you.